Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astrological. When we talk about the third house, it is a house of enterprise, effort and going it alone also when not supported by others as well. It's also a house of communication, it's a house of influencing others as well. So when the third house lord goes into different signs, according to the sign, it also brings in the different flavors in the communication, in the actions, in the efforts. So let's jump into and see how the third house lord behaves in different signs basis how the mannerism of the person comes out basis the influence of the sign. So let's start with the third house lord in Aries sign. Now the Aries sign is of somebody who is very dynamic, who is very aggressive and is also a go-getter. So when the third house lord goes into the Aries sign, this is somebody who likes to talk what he thinks is the right thing to say. Many a times the person may not hold back when talking or when communicating. Generally these people will try to balance their communication, balance how they are dealing with the opposite party. However, if pushed or if they think that things are not going to plan or what ideally they should, then these people don't hold back. Sometimes if not being supported and not getting the support of others also, yet they will jump headlong into doing something, doing an activity, and many times it is also so that the activity gets done, but also sometimes to prove to people that you need to start something. You can't plan endlessly and then do something. So starting well is half the job done well. So they will start things even when not completely fully prepared or even when not getting the full support of others. And so many times these people also get left behind because they are very hardworking, they are very enterprising. So sometimes it so happens that in a team effort, in a team environment, they end up doing the most. And then the others are left to do less because they have completed a lot of work themselves. Sometimes it so happens if the project is going on for a long time, then these people do a lot, then they find that others are yet to catch up or not enough has been done by them, then these people also get slackened in their effort and it's difficult for them to stay focused for a long time on a certain project. Something which catches their eye, something which catches their interest, they will be able to work on it for a long time and with sustained energy and effort. These people are also very good influencers. They are very dynamic in their talk, very forceful also in their communication because they completely believe in something. They can be very motivating when they speak, and they can also be very good at marketing or also representing their teams, representing a project also, especially where you need to present it with a lot of dynamism, with a lot of forcefulness also. So these people can be very good in also as planners, as communicators. These people are also the ones who may go on a short trip suddenly without much planning also. In a jiffy something comes to their mind, off they go. But these people are also very quick on their feet to realize what's happening around them, what's going on, and they are able to take actions accordingly and very quickly, where others may be left thinking. So in a situation where you need quick thinkers, you need quick deciders, you need somebody to start off, at least give a push so that things don't slack. This is the person with the third house lord in the Aries sign for you. The third house lord in the sign of Taurus is somebody who has varied taste. Such a person may have good taste in food, good taste in lifestyle, may like to wear good brands also, but this is also a person who is very family oriented. So when they will talk of values, they will talk about the family's traditions, even the tribe. They may be interested in their ancestry also a lot, and they may also try to find out what their roots are, where they are coming from. And when they talk also, they may talk a lot about the family also. For example, they may say, my father used to say this, My uncle used to say this. So you will find that the roots somewhere get connected to values, to principles also when they communicate. These are also the people who like to have good dining experiences, and so they may not hesitate to call people over also and maybe cook a meal for them also. These people work hard for family, and they will not leave any stone unturned if they know that their livelihood is connected to, or earning more is getting connected to how hard they work. So they will not pull punches where hard work is concerned. If something appeals to them, then nobody can stop them from taking that action, from going that way. However, if something doesn't appeal to them, it will be very, very difficult to budge these people from their situations, from their point of view. Generally very good communicators, very balanced in communication, also very reserved in what kind of languages or what kind of words they use. However, they can know a number of languages also. Sometimes they put in effort also to learn languages. And these are also the people who, when they talk to their family, when they talk to friends, these people will let their hair down, let their guard down, but maybe a little reserved when they talk to outsiders. When they work for stability, they work for more financial security. Hence, many times when they talk, money becomes or the finance becomes a focus. Others may see them as a little money minded. However, these people are more connected to financial security and the security of the home, security of the family, and hence many times people may not understand them, or people tend to misunderstand them. If you want to have a very hard working person, very dedicated, committed person who will work with a lot of values, with a lot of principles, then you need this person with the third house lord in the Taurus sign for you. The third house lord in the sign of Gemini are very selective in where they work, how they communicate as well. Generally, they are very good communicators, and they can impress people, they can influence people very easily. They can charm people off the feet also. However, because they are a little reserved in what work to be done, or unless it appeals to them, they may not want to do, and so they may take a little time to decide. Because the Gemini energies also kick in, the duality of the Gemini sign also kicks in. So sometimes they put in a lot of effort to understand something well before they take action in that line. So if they need to work in a certain organization or need to say yes to somebody, then they will take their own sweet time. They may not hurry into an action easily. These people are generally people who can write very well. They can be good blog writers. They can also be very good at the arts. They can be good at sales and marketing also. And they can be very artistic also in their endeavors. They can be good dancers. They could also be very good singers. Generally having a penchant for good things in life, these people can also be very good fashion designers. So when they do something, they will take time to decide. But when they do it, they will do it with a lot of finesse, they will do it with a lot of flair, and they will do it with an artistic bent of mind. So if you want somebody on your team who is more thorough in their approach, very thorough in how they talk, how they present, how they work, then you need the person with the third house lord in Gemini sign on your team. The person with the third house lord in Cancer is a person who is a good listener, but is also somebody, when he or she talks, will also talk with a lot of empathy. They will also talk in a certain manner where the person feels that I know this person from long, and so it's easier for a person to open up with a person who has the third house lord in Cancer. These people, wherever they go, they will miss their home. These are the ones who will also like to have good holidays, especially around water bodies or the sea or the beach. These generally will be the beach people. Even if they go into the mountains, they would like to have a villa or a place where they stay which overlooks water. They may love traveling, but they may not like to end their travel or the vacation, but when they get back home, they will be most happy. They will always talk about family, and they are very connected to their homeland as well. If somebody brings up the topic of the homeland or where they are, or their birthplace, then they will talk with a lot of nostalgia, with also a lot of remembrance, with a lot of passion also, and with a lot of love. These people may not hesitate to give a lending hand at home, and also run errands for the home or do something in the home or try to do certain things which will keep the home organized and neat and clean and a very warm and welcoming place. And hence many times these people also want to buy homes or live in homes which have a very familiar neighborhood, also very familiar or homely environment around the place that they live. So if you want to have somebody with family values and a friendly ear and an understanding empathetic ear, then it's better to have a person with the third house lord Cancer on your team. The person with the third house lord in Leo is a person, when they talk, they may come across as a bit authoritative also, but generally when they talk, they will also talk with a lot of responsibility. So when they are saying something, when they are trying to convey any ideas, there will always be a certain more of I in that, which is about taking responsibility. So if they are communicating with somebody, they may start, even if they use the word we, it is more about me in that, which if, for example, if they say we need to do this, so at the back of the mind, it is also about the person himself or herself taking more action or more responsibility. And so when they talk, when they communicate, when they're showing authority or they come across as being authoritative, it is because they themselves are ready to take action, they are themselves ready to take accountability, they are themselves ready to take the responsibility. And hence many times these people don't hesitate to travel even long distance where work is concerned. And they don't mind taking more responsibility also. And many times these people also end up becoming the representatives of teams, of departments, of the projects or the company itself. And so many times they end up taking more responsibility also, because they are also seen as people who are ready to put in the hard work. So these people are the ones who may finish their work, but because they feel accountable and responsible, or they seem to be more hardworking, the team or the management or the superiors may also give them some more work, because they feel these people are up to it and these people can do a better job, also because they are more responsible than the others. So if you don't mind somebody who's a little more authoritative but more responsible on the team, more accountable on the team, and will talk for everybody, not only for themselves, then it's better to have a person with the third house lord in Leo with you. The person with the third house lord in Virgo may sometimes come across as a little bit more analytical, sometimes even more complaining or a little nitpicking in their communication. This is because they themselves are very thorough in their work, in their effort, and many times even when they do something, they may find fault in their own work. So for example, if they cook a meal, even if they have cooked the best meal, they will always find something wanting. And so many times they also want the validation. So if they are with somebody, they may want validation about themselves. If they cook a meal, they may want validation about that. If they finish a project, they also want validation, because themselves they have some doubt about their own effort in spite of doing it very, very well. Many times these people are the ones who, if you have on the team, they end up doing the patchwork or the completion for a lot of other people's work, because they have an eye for detail, so they will be able to fill in those small areas which others may have left incomplete. Hence these people many times end up doing work for a long hours, sometimes more than it is needed also, because they feel that things have still not been done. You need to turn maybe a screw there, you need to improve the font a little bit there, and hence their work is all about the finished product, which also looks good and feels good and does well also. A person who is ready to call a spade, not hesitating to pull punches where completion or the finish of the work is concerned. So if you want somebody on your team or in your family or in your life where you don't mind other person being a little more analytical, maybe pointing fingers, but the best work done, the most complete work done, then you need to have a person with the third house lord in Virgo with you. The people with the third house lord in the sign of Libra will be people who are very pleasant to talk to, very good to talk to, and these are also the people who will have a very balanced communication with you. These people will listen more, but when they talk, you will also find a lot of empathy in how they talk. These are the very forgiving people also, though they may not forget insults or sarcasm easily. However, because they believe in more balance, many times they end up doing more because they think that they are not balanced enough or they have not contributed as much as they need to contribute, and hence many times they overshoot how much they need to put in. So generally these people will be the people who will end up doing maybe 60, 65 or 70% of the work that others need to do, because they feel that it is important for them to be able to contribute more so that there is balance, and hence many times they shoot themselves in the foot also. Same thing even in relationships, they end up doing a lot more in relationship, sometimes not getting the reciprocation, and many times they are left bitter also, because they feel that the way they have taken about in the relationship or they have committed to the relationship or how much they have contributed, they are not getting the same reciprocation also back, and hence many a time they end up doing most or not getting enough in return. These people are also the ones who are quick to apologize if they feel that things are going off track, even sometimes when they may not be at complete fault, even if they feel that they have contributed even a little bit to the antagonizing environment or to the relationship going off stream, then they don't mind apologizing also. Generally very pleasant to talk to and trying to avoid toxicity, but if pushed to the limits, then these people can also come across as very headstrong. So if the relationship is good, they don't mind going to the hilt, but if they find that their situation is irreconcilable, they won't mind to call it quits. And hence, being the most balanced in their communication, in their work, generally they can become the best ambassadors for a team, for the project and for a company, and that is the person with the third house lord in Libra for you. The third house lord in Scorpio is a person who is more reserved in their communication as well. So many times a lot of others, outsiders, may feel that these people are holding themselves back and not giving enough. It is not that they can't communicate or they don't want to communicate, but they like to communicate only in very familiar environment or very trusting environment, because many times these people become that because what they have said has been misused or has been misplaced, and something else has been understood or misunderstood out of what they have said. So they like to be more reserved in their communication. If they open up, they will open up with their best friends, their best buddies, or maybe their spouse. Generally, they may also have somebody outside of the relationship who they may talk to, who they feel is their agony aunt or a wise person to talk to, and hence sometimes they are also misunderstood because they are talking to somebody for the solace or for the support. These people also have a strong eye for detail, but they are able to pick out things which others may not be able to pick out, and hence these people are also very good at even picking out a lie in what other person is saying, or they will easily be able to see that there is something which is misplaced in what the person is saying, or they may also be able to pick out what somebody is saying they did or they did not do. These people themselves also can be very good at lying or trying or getting away. However, it is seldom that they will resort to that, because these are the people who feel that openness is very good, may not be so much in communication, but openness and action is very important, where nothing is left to chance, because they themselves feel being at the receiving end of others taking them for granted or even taking advantage of them, and hence because they don't like to take advantage of others, or they don't like to be taken advantage of, and hence many times they are more careful in how they talk and how they work and whom they trust. Many times you will find them in those professions where a lot of others may not want to go or may not be able to do it very well. So good at researching, good at finding things, good at audits, good at taxation, good at also working with other people's money is the person with the third house lord in Scorpio sign for you. The third house lord in Sagittarius can be the most fun loving person, can be the most fun in whom you like to talk to, in whose company you like to be, because these people are the people who are always very chirpy, they are very communicative, and they don't hold back when they talk, and hence many times they may say certain things. So who's here again getting into the frame? So I had to stop my video. Okay, Ewok, say hi to people. There's Ewok for you. Okay, chal. Off you go. So these are the people who will be very open in their communication, a lot of fun in their communication also, and if they find a topic to talk about, then they can go on and on about it. If they are talking about a vacation, they may like to talk also a lot about it. So they are also very giving. So if they are narrating a story, they will tell you all the bits and pieces, the fun elements also. They will not hold back anything. And because these people are very open and maybe a little bit travel around, they are also very good at connecting the dots. So many times, even if you are saying only so much, these people are able to understand what is the thing that you are not able to say or you are holding back because of you not being able to say enough in that situation, but they will be able to sense it. They have a good nose to pick out those things with the person not saying, because they have enough empathy. But that will be covered in their very fun-loving, communicative environment. So when they talk, usually even when they have the worst of situations in their life, these people will be very well presented, very well mannered, and they will never be able, they will never show you on, they will not show you on their face what the situation in their life is. So if you want somebody who's a friend on your team, who works hard, who doesn't mind giving you a helping hand, is also somebody who works hard while also being chirpy, nice, fun and communicative, then you surely want a person with the third house lord in the Sagittarius sign to be on your team. The person with the third house lord in Capricorn is an extremely hard working person, and hence many a times these are the people who end up working the longest, the hardest, most committed also, and they persevere more than everybody else when they are onto a project. They don't give up easily. However, these are also the people who want certain things to be very logical. Only then do they want to do that. So many times these people will look at whether it is really practical for them to do something, and so they will get to the bottom of things before they decide to do something. So they may have a lot of questions to ask. They may also look at whether what they are doing is actually meaningful or not. If they find that what they are doing is not meaningful, is not logical, is not even practical, then they may not be able to commit themselves completely. If something appeals to them, if they find something which they feel is important, is logical, is practical, and has more meaning as an output, then they will give the complete dedication, they will give the complete commitment, and they will work longest for that project, for that team. And hence many times these people end up working the hardest on the longest and for the least fruits for them. Because they are committed to something, they may not, even when not reciprocated enough, not being appreciated enough, not being paid enough also, not being compensated enough also, yet these people may end up working the hardest, being more committed also. And because of having the patience, they may also persevere the longest in a project, in a company, on as well as on the team. And because of being very thorough, even if there is a short trip of a few days, these people can also be very thorough even in that planning. They can be best organizers also, and they will be the people who will think about their travel plans in advance, do their booking, ensure that everything is taken care of, and these people will be the most thorough, most planned on their vacation, most thorough on their travel plans, most thorough in their travel plans for any work output that they would like to see. So if you want to work with somebody who is most dedicated, most committed, will persevere with you, would give you a helping hand, doesn't mind to work longer hours, and will be most practical and logical about how they end up working, what is the output, then you need a person with the third house lord in Capricorn sign on the team in your life. The person with the third house lord in Aquarius will always be talking about the team, the group, the family, the company, the organization, the neighborhood, the city, the world, rather than self. These people will be talking about themselves the last, and there will be very less of me in that or I in that. Most of the time their communication will be either about we or us or the group, and usually they like to be a part of team effort where a team or a group is working. They usually don't like to work alone or sit in a corner and work on something unless they feel that they are not being welcomed in the group, or if they feel that they can give the best output only when they work alone. Only then would they like to work alone or be left on their own to work on their own. Otherwise, these are the best team players. And usually in their talk, in their communication, there is always an objective. There is always a cause that they are talking about, or there is always an output that they are talking about, usually which is good for everybody. So they will either talk about something which is good for the team, or good for the family, or good for the group, or good for the company, or good for the world. Seldom will you find that they were thinking about only themselves, or working only for themselves, or looking at an output only for themselves. These are not the people who are sages that I would want to do everything for others. However, they believe that the collective good is good for everybody rather than I alone or me alone. However, because they look at the big picture, many times they may miss the details, and they may need somebody else to come in and fill the finer print or finer details. And hence, because they are also very trusting and they are looking at the big picture, they end up contributing the most, doing the most, giving the most also. And then sometimes they end up also being a little bitter because they feel that the team has let them down, the group has left them down, or the world has let them down. And so usually they are also the people who are ready to take up a cause or fight for a cause or voice their concern very openly without holding themselves back. So if you want somebody who's a team player, who works for a cause, who believes in a cause, who believes in an output for the general good for everybody, then you need the person with the third house lord in Aquarius with you. The person with the third house lord in Pisces is a person who is very spiritual, sometimes even meditative in how they talk. Generally, these people will be the hardest working people and will not hesitate to put in more hard work because they feel that everybody needs to pitch in with the same degree of commitment, same degree of hard work. And because they feel that everybody will do enough, everybody will do their bit, so they end up doing a lot of hard work also, assuming that everybody will also compensate, others will also contribute. However, many times they find that they have ended up doing most and others have not contributed enough. So when they want to sign up for a project, they want to get going or doing even something or take up a responsibility for the family, for the team or the organization, they believe that when we all work together, everybody will get committed and everybody will work with the same enthusiasm, same contribution. However, they are the ones who end up doing the most, and they are also the ones who also carry the same enthusiasm for a long period of time, because they are also to a certain degree idealists. So even when a lot of other people may not contribute enough, they end up doing more because they feel that the cause has to be completed, has to be done well. And so many times these people can also be too gullible also. When others put in a sob story and tell them that I need this support, I need this help, I'm not able to do this, will you pitch in? They will take up the cudgels for somebody else, will take up the responsibility for somebody else also and do their work also for them, because they feel that the other person really needs that help. And these always live in an ideal world. They feel that if I help others, then others may also help me. Many times only to understand that that is not always the case. Very, very fair in dealing but very trusting. Many a time these people may also be at the receiving end of their trust also getting broken. However, they tell themselves, okay, this is the time I have been taken for a ride, next time I will be more careful, only to let their guard down again and again to be taken to the washers. So if you need somebody who is very optimistic, somebody who's always looking out for others, always happy, always having a smile on their face, ready to contribute more and contribute more than somebody else, then you would surely need a person with the third house lord in the Pisces sign with you. So friends, now that we have talked about the third house lord in different signs, see where your third house lord is placed, in what sign, whether it is taking away some of the effect of that through some conjunction, through yogas or through certain aspects, and see how, in which direction it is taking you, because the third house lord in a certain area can be the key to the destiny, can also open up a lot of coffers for you and take you on a tangent of prosperity and also goodness. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you are looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.